Well, gamers, we've made it to Q4 2024, and that means all the big gaming updates that all these big gaming companies have been promising for the past year are finally gonna roll out over the next 3 to 4 months. So now in today's video, we want to talk about a really big one that is off the grid, as well as some other big news coming up from some of our other favorites. What's up, gamers? My name's Mike and I'm your host here at Funjible Games. Now, we just finished a whirlwind trip across Singapore and Japan where we covered everything happening at Token 2049, the Solana Summit, as well as the Tokyo Game Show in Japan. That was just so much to cover. So if you haven't checked out any of those episodes on our X platform or on YouTube, make sure you search for those, as well as checking out the full vlog from the Tokyo Game Show. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But now, without further ado, let's dive into our first topic of today's video, and that is Off the Grid by Funjible Games. Off the Grid, a Web3 battle royale game powered by Funjible Games, is about to open up playtesting for Xbox Series X players. Well, after 3 years of talking about it, consoles and Web3 gaming is finally coming together. So after a successful playtest on PS5 in August, it is now time for Xbox users to get that experience in North America and Europe. This playtest is your chance to experience a non-final version of the game, test it out, and give feedback so you can be part of the early development of the game itself. At its core, Off the Grid is a high-end third-person shooter battle royale, along with your typical PvP where 150 players battle it out on Teardrop Island. And not only are you going to be battling it out with all these players from around the world, like you would do with Warzone for instance, there's also going to be powerful AI players, making the game more fun and interesting than some other titles out there. But not only that, if you're like me, I always grew up playing the campaigns as well as the multiplayer. And of course, we spend so many hours in those multiplayer games, but the campaign is what brings us into the story and fall in love with these games. And happy to report that Off the Grid is gonna have a 60-hour campaign associated with this one. Now, one thing to note, spots are limited in this playtest, so if you're an Xbox user, you wanna jump on this opportunity right away. Go to the Xbox store and download the Xbox Insider Hub, sign up for the Xbox Insiders program on the app, head to the Previews tab, find Off the Grid and hit join and enroll in the playtest. And next up, we have some big news from Shardbound. Their open beta just went live on Steam and the Epic Game Store, and there's already 100,000 players registered. There is so much hype anticipated for this one. In Shardbound, players take turns making moves on a 3D hexagonal battlefield. The goal is to use cards to summon your minions and relics to defeat your opponent's commander. Now, in this game, there's 2 ways to win. First, you can destroy your opponent's commander, or you can earn 10 victory points by controlling areas called victory crystals. Now, although you may have heard of those challenges in the beginning days of Shardbound, since Bazooka Tango picked it up, and using their partnership with Immutable, they've really been able to bring things up. And not only that, but in 2023, they were able to raise $5 million to help with the launch of this game, so we expect really big things. So in terms of look and feel of this game, instead of that like dark, grungy, post-apocalyptic survival world that we're so used to now, the game decided to focus a little bit different on their art. They keep things bright, colorful, and engaging, and true to a strategy game genre. Bo Daly, the co-founder, said they wanted the game to be as fun to watch as it is to play, with moments that can totally change the game with one smart move. So to participate in this open beta, make sure you head on over to their website and register. Now, coming up next in this news video, we have 2 more stories that you're going to want to hear about. The first one is on Space Nation, and the second is a really interesting idea from cryptokitties. But before we dive into those 2 stories, I just wanted to give you a little highlight view of what Funjible Games is, because we have so many new people coming to the platform. So starting off with the website fungible.games, there it's like the IMDb of Web3 gaming, where we have a community of 20,000 strong. We do in-depth game reviews, articles, breaking news, and stuff like that. And you have the opportunity to review the game publicly, and we share those reviews with gaming founders. We're also going to be doing playtests coming up soon, so if you want to be involved with that, make sure you're joining Fungible.games, creating an account, and commenting on these YouTube videos that you want to participate there. And of course, we have YouTube, where you're seeing the video now. Here, we often make news videos. We also do gaming founder interviews. We fly around the world to different conferences and make sure we make highlight videos here, as well as other project highlights and chatting with founders of games. All that you can find spread between our channels, and our X platform is also Funjible Games. Now, diving back into this video, Space Nation is doing their global launch. Space Nation is a new MMORPG that launched on the Immutable platform, and for this global soft launch, the game is available for PC players. The start of this soft launch started in the last week of September, and now we're currently in a 6-week period where you can grind up your character to a level 50, and after that, the cap will increase to level 60 in the next 6 weeks. And in this time, the game is going to launch new features like Guild Planet Occupation, which adds more team-based gameplay. The game itself has a mix of quests, player versus player combat, as well as guild versus guild. And what's cool about Space Nation Online, they don't want to only focus on the Web3, they want to get all players involved, so this should be a seamless integration between Web 2 and Web3 gameplay. So if you want to be part of this soft launch, this is how you do it. Make sure you head on over and join their Discord. From there, you're going to get an access code, create your Space Nation account, link that Immutable passport, and of course, have a good PC. Now, if you've already got a Space Nation NFT, you can skip some of those steps and dive right in. And if you're a big fan of being in guilds, well, good news, because you can join one of the guilds from Space Nation Online, and they too can give you an access code. But this isn't all for this franchise. They have so many big plans for the future, including plans to expand into things like animated shorts, spin-off games, and even a TV series. And finally, Jerome Wu, their CEO, said this for the future. Their main goal has always been to create an MMORPG that is fun to play and supported by a strong community-owned economy. And he also went on to thank all the beta testers, as well as invite all you guys to participate in this. So if you want to join in with their community, head on over to their Discord. And finally, we have that story on CryptoKitties. If you don't know, they're pretty much the OG of early Web3 games. So for the future of CryptoKitties, they actually have big plans coming out later on the Flow blockchain. But right now, they wanted to focus on the hype of Telegram gaming, so they created a Telegram minigame called CryptoKitties All the Zen. Now, they're going with the term play to egg drop, where you can grow something called your Zen by playing, finding Easter eggs, which are hidden goodies, and using different strategies. It's all about having nice, relaxing fun as you're getting back into the world of CryptoKitties. Now, if you're unaware of how big of a deal this actually could be, CryptoKitties pretty much started that NFT craze we saw back in 2017, where people really started speculating on the future value of NFTs, and even CryptoKitties getting up to around $140,000 per NFT. The hype was crazy. So when you hear of things like CryptoKitties or CryptoPunks creating something of utility in the future, especially on an established chain like Flow blockchain, this is definitely something where you want to keep your eye on if you're this type of gamer. So for this new game, Dapper Labs, the creators of CryptoKitties, have been teasing it for quite a bit. They also dropped a collection of digital eggs on OpenSea, which racked up a sales volume of $3.5 million. Now, if you already own an OG CryptoKitty or have one of those Flow wallets, you're going to have some early access opportunities. So if you're excited by the potential future value of all things CryptoKitties IP, it's definitely the time to start playing their Telegram game, because you're going to earn experience points that you can use towards their full ecosystem. Now, that wraps it up for this news video. Like we were saying earlier, make sure you head on over to Funjible Games and create an account there. There you can scroll through all our catalogs. We have different games, breaking those down. We have different networks like the Ronin blockchain, for instance, where you can scroll and find all of their games. Well, if you've made it this far in the video, we'd really appreciate a subscribe below and heading over to Funjible Games and creating that account.